Okay, so I'm going to give this a try. I have my phone on landscape mode because I want to be able to post these on YouTube and it not be difficult to look at if you're looking at a computer or something, looking at it through a computer. So I'm having to look at the little green dot that I see there instead of looking at my face because that'll look funny, right? So where do I start with this? I'm 54. Let's start there. I am the mother of 5, grandmother of 7. I don't see my grandkids. That's a story for another day. Um, I'm a widow. I lost my husband Julian in an automobile accident in December of 2011. A lot of people say that's a long time to be grieving and single, and yeah, um, we'll talk about that another day as well. But I've been thinking a lot lately. I think I'm going through, do they call it maybe it's a midlife crisis, an identity crisis? No, that's not right either. I'm going through an age crisis. Um, I haven't done any of the things I always wanted to do crisis. But in my teenage years, I always wanted to be a fashion designer. I loved to draw. I loved the um, female form and I wanted to dress it. I was not shapely, I guess you could say. I was a thick girl always, but I always loved the female form and the thought of dressing and designing clothes for the female body. And I loved fashion. Even though I probably didn't look like the type, probably looked more like the type in high school than I do now. But as I aged and I had children, there were other interests that I had at that time as well. When I was a teenager, I loved to write. I loved to draw. I just loved creativity and writing and drawing, and even photography was one of my passions. I wanted to be on the school newspaper when I was a freshman in high school, but my um, I was turned down for that. I don't think I was in the right class, if you will. But anyway, I want to start a vlog, and maybe work my way to telling my childhood stories and things like that. I have an actual written blog that I've started, and I'm trying to devote it to weekly stories from my childhood. I think I have an interesting childhood. I had an interesting childhood. I was born to a very young mother. She was not quite 16 when she had me. And I was adopted later. I was almost 5 years old when my paternal aunt adopted me. Her and her husband adopted me. And the stories just get more interesting from there because they didn't like children. They did not like children, and it showed. And I have a lot of stories to tell. Even the stories I have to tell before I was adopted, my earliest memories are very traumatizing. But I want to tell my story, and I want to tell my story because I want to tell my story. I like writing. I like engaging things like that. I love to hear other people's stories. Um, but I just as much I love to tell stories. So I want to see where this goes, and I hope that I can gain a following and that people will be interested to hear what I have to say. I'm trying to work on a book that's coming, like basically one story at a time. The stories that I'm telling on my blog, they're part of the stories that I will be putting into my book. But follow me, help me grow, teach me how to be a better storyteller, a better vlogger, a better blogger, a better writer, a better artist, a better everything. I want to improve on me. I'm 54. I keep thinking about that. I'm 54. I will be 60 years old in 6 years, in less than 6 years. I want to grow. I want to fulfill some of my dreams. So here we go. Here we go.